It started like any normal Tuesday: cold coffee, late school drop-off, and a passive-aggressive email from my boss about meeting punctuality. Then I got the call from the principal. You know it's serious when they start with, "Mr. Morgan, you might want to sit down." Apparently, my 10-year-old son, Max, had listed his 4-year-old sister, Lily, for sale online. Description: annoying, loud, eats my snacks, still kinda cute. Price: $25 or best offer, open to trades. Now, I should have been horrified, but part of me was impressed. He used decent grammar, good lighting in the photos, even added no returns. When I got to the school, Max was sitting in the front office like a mafia boss caught laundering juice boxes. He looked up at me and said, "She bit me during Bluey. I warned her." The principal, trying not to laugh, slid the printout across the table. And there it was, my daughter's face under the category toys and games, slightly used. By the time I got them both home, Lily had no idea she'd almost been rehomed. She just kept skipping around in a tutu, shouting, "I'm a burrito," while Max sat arms crossed, awaiting trial like a war criminal. I grounded him, obviously. No screens, no dessert, and definitely no internet. But that's when he smirked and said, "You think that was bad? Wait till you see what I did to Grandpa's dating profile." I didn't even know Grandpa had a dating profile. The next morning, I made the mistake of checking Grandpa's dating profile before coffee. I opened the app Max claimed he'd edited and nearly choked on my own oxygen. The username? Studmuffin_1951. Bio? Ex-Navy, current legend. I can cook minute rice in 58 seconds and once arm wrestled a bear. Lost, but only emotionally. Seeking soulmate with low standards and decent knees. And the photos. Oh God. Max had uploaded a shirtless picture of Grandpa fixing the lawnmower, a selfie where he's picking spinach from his teeth, and one truly cursed image of him asleep in the recliner, mouth wide open, with Lily balancing a Hot Wheels track on his head. "Max!" I yelled down the hallway. He appeared, smug as ever, already chewing toast like this was just another Tuesday. "He got 3 matches overnight," Max said. "One of them's name is Linda with a Y. That's exotic." "You're welcome." I was ready to cancel the internet entirely, like full unplug the router and bury it in the backyard mode. But Grandpa loved it. He walked into the kitchen in his house slippers, holding his phone like it was a trophy. "Daniel, I haven't had this much action since disco. Tell that boy he's my wingman now." I stared at my father, then my son, the proud grandpa and the pint-sized marketing genius. My entire family had entered a new stage of chaos and I wasn't sure who I feared more. Then my phone buzzed with a notification. A message from Lily's preschool teacher. "Can we talk about what Lily brought in for show and tell today?" Oh no. When I arrived at Lily's preschool, the teacher met me at the door with the same look doctors give you right before they tell you they found something concerning. Her voice was calm, measured, and just slightly panicked. "She brought in a collection," Ms. Dana said. And she said, and I'm quoting here, "This is Daddy's special hiding stuff. He doesn't like sharing." My blood turned to pudding. They led me into the classroom like I was being escorted to a crime scene. There, on a tiny round table, was a Ziploc bag of expired condoms, my backup emergency whiskey flask, a half-melted chocolate bar, and, oh sweet mercy, a photo of my ex-wife in her college cheer uniform. The kids had gathered around it like a museum exhibit. One little boy was holding the flask and whispering, "Is this dinosaur juice?" Ms. Dana turned to me, deadpan. "Do you want to explain this?" My mouth opened but no words came out. Because how do you explain your 4-year-old raiding the top shelf of your closet and deciding that was the most educational thing she could share? Lily, meanwhile, looked extremely proud. She was swinging her little legs and munching goldfish like she'd just solved climate change. "I wanted to show them your secrets," she beamed. "And the shiny juice bottle smells like angry." I apologized. Profusely. I offered to buy new classroom supplies. I considered joining witness protection. On the way home, I asked her why she didn't just take a stuffed animal like a normal child. She shrugged. "Max said if I brought something wild, I'd be famous." Max. When we got back, I opened the door to find Max in the living room with a cardboard sign taped to his chest. It read, "Kid publicist, making you famous since Tuesday." And sitting next to him was a local news crew. There was a woman in a blazer holding a microphone, a cameraman balancing a giant rig on his shoulder, and Max sitting there like he was about to accept a daytime Emmy. "Are you the father?" the reporter asked. "Yes," I said. immediately regretting every life choice that led to this moment. We're doing a feel-good segment on young entrepreneurs. She smiled. Your son pitched us the story. A self-made 10-year-old who helps seniors find love, markets toddlers, and builds personal brands? It's inspiring. I turned to Max. You pitched them? He grinned. I emailed 12 stations. Channel 4 called back first. Also, I named it The Tiny Tycoon. Cool, right? No, I said. No, not cool. This is not okay. But then Grandpa walked in wearing a tucked-in polo and jeans that clearly hadn't been worn since 1997. He slapped Max on the back like they were co-founders of a startup. This kid's got vision, he said. Linda with a Y is already asking for a second date. And then Lily trotted over in her sparkly tutu holding a drawing she made during the interview. A crayon sketch of the entire family with the caption, "We are weird but famous." The reporter knelt down beside her. Are you part of the team too, sweetie? I'm the chaos, she said. The camera guy gave her a thumbs up. At that point, something in me snapped. Not in a violent way. More like when a rubber band gets stretched too far and turns into modern art. No more interviews, I said. No more matchmaking. No more toddler auctions. We're going off the grid. Give me your devices. All of them. Max sighed. But we just got a sponsorship offer. What? From who? He pulled a crumpled email from his hoodie pocket. Some startup called Snack Boss. They want to send free jerky if Lily keeps shouting, "I'm a burrito" on camera. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed wondering if other parents were going through this, or if my kids were genuinely trying to give me a nervous breakdown. Then I got a text from my boss. Did I just see your kids on Channel 4? The next morning, I walked into work like a man heading to his own execution. Every single person in the office had seen the news segment. They were waiting for me. I hadn't even reached my desk before Todd from HR popped his head out of a cubicle and said, "Hey, Tiny Tycoon's dad, got any autographs?" I tried to wave it off. It was taken out of context. "Oh no, man," he said, patting my shoulder. "It was very much in context. Your son started a business empire and your daughter's catchphrase is trending on TikTok. My niece won't stop saying, 'I'm a burrito.' It's haunting." When I finally opened my email, there were 112 unread messages. One was from a podcast asking if I'd come on as a guest to discuss raising disruptive geniuses. Another was from a parenting blog titled 10 Ways to Monetize Your Offspring Without Going to Jail. But the worst one, my ex-wife. She sent me a screenshot of the broadcast and texted, "You had one job, Daniel." I texted back, "They ambushed me." Also, "Did you know Lily brought your old cheer photo to preschool?" No reply. Later that night, I tried to reestablish order. I called a family meeting, Max, Lily, and Grandpa included. Starting tomorrow, there's no more media, no cameras, no pitches. We're going to be a normal, boring family again. Max looked genuinely puzzled. Why would we do that? We just got invited to KidCon in Orlando. VIP passes. Lily gets a meet and greet with a YouTube hamster. Lily gasped. Hammy Hamilton. Grandpa leaned in. Do I have to cancel my salsa class with Linda with a Y now? Because she bought matching shoes. I closed my eyes, breathed deep. Then the doorbell rang. It was a delivery driver, dropping off a giant foam burrito costume. Compliments of Snack Boss. The tag read, #TeamLily. Lily squealed and immediately put it on. Max filmed it. I sighed so hard my lungs almost left my body. And then I heard him mutter under his breath, "This one's going viral by dinner." By dinner, it had 3 million views. Lily, dressed like a human-sized burrito, had paraded through our neighborhood screaming, "Spicy and proud," while Max narrated like a nature documentary. Here we see the wild burrito baby in her natural environment, suburban chaos. People had stitched it, remixed it, turned it into a dance trend. I didn't even know you could auto-tune a preschooler, but someone did, and they made a trap beat out of it. My phone buzzed nonstop. Emails, mentions. A guy from a marketing agency DM'd me. "We represent micro-influencers under 4 feet tall. Can we talk?" I ignored them all. I had to, because this wasn't just a blip anymore. This was turning into a full-blown family franchise, and I was the only one even trying to hit the brakes. Meanwhile, Grandpa was living his best life. I caught him in the garage recording a vlog titled Late Life Love Tips, with studmuffin_1951. He had a ring light, a branded mug, and a shirt that read Certified Zaddy. I didn't even know what that meant, and I didn't want to. Later that night, I decided I was done being passive. I waited until everyone was asleep, snuck into Max's room, and confiscated every phone, tablet, camera, and backup charger he had hidden like contraband. Then I tiptoed into Lily's room and gently removed the burrito costume from where she'd tucked it under her pillow like a sacred relic. And then I unplugged the Wi-Fi, not turned it off. Unplugged. I slept like a king, but peace was short-lived. At exactly 6:12 a.m., I woke up to the sound of Max screaming, "Dad committed a digital coup," and Lily wailing, "Where's my rap skin?" They stormed into my room like it was a protest rally. Grandpa followed behind with coffee and a GoPro strapped to his chest. "You could have at least left a note," he said. "Linda with a YS going to think I ghosted her." I sat up, rubbed my temples, and said something I hadn't said in a long time. "We're going camping." Everyone stopped. No Wi-Fi, no phones, just us and the woods. Lily sniffled. "Will there be burritos?" Max narrowed his eyes. "Is this a trap?" It wasn't, but it probably should have been. We left for the woods 2 hours later, crammed into my aging SUV like hostages of a digital detox. Grandpa complained the whole way. No GPS, no music, and no way to tell Linda with a Y that he was still alive. Lily was dressed like a nature unicorn, wearing glitter boots and a cape made from an old pillowcase. Max brought a notebook labeled Wilderness Monetization Ideas. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was committed. The campsite was quiet, peaceful. Absolutely no bars on the phone or otherwise. We set up tents, lit a fire, and for the first time in weeks, nobody was filming, posting, or negotiating brand deals with jerky companies. We roasted marshmallows. Grandpa taught Lily how to whittle a stick into something vaguely pointy. Max tried to convince a squirrel to trade acorns for trail mix. It was borderline magical. Until the raccoon came. It was around midnight. I'd just finished my second can of lukewarm chili and was finally dozing off when I heard the scream. The burrito monster found me. I shot out of my tent. Lily was standing on a log, wielding her whittled stick like a samurai, and staring down a very determined raccoon who had successfully dragged her foam burrito costume out of the trunk and was now wearing it. Max, half asleep, was already filming it on his analog camcorder. He'd smuggled it in. "Dad, this is gold. We can call it Raccoon Rap. Nature's revenge." "No," I said, chasing the burrito bandit into the woods like an unhinged medieval librarian. "No more content." 20 minutes later, I returned to camp scratched, burrito-less, and spiritually broken. Lily handed me a marshmallow. "I forgive you," she whispered, "for taking away the Wi-Fi." We sat in silence, watching sparks drift into the stars. And for a few seconds, just a few, I thought I might have finally turned the tide. Until Max said, "So, how mad would you be if I told you the squirrel has its own TikTok now?" The squirrel did have a TikTok. Max had named it Acorn Boy Official, and, using a secret hotspot Grandpa had stashed in his prosthetic knee brace, don't ask, had uploaded videos of the squirrel stealing Lily's snacks, investigating a bag of marshmallows, and, most infamously, riding the foam burrito costume like a rodeo champ. When we got back from the camping trip, Acorn Boy had 96,000 followers. By that evening, over 300,000. The clip of the raccoon and the burrito costume had been remixed into a dubstep anthem that somehow became the soundtrack to a viral dance challenge called the Rap Attack Shuffle. A dance that involved spinning in circles, fake biting your sibling, and shouting, "I'm spicy and I'm wild," while falling into a bush. I spent the next week trying to do damage control. Or at least, pretend to. I called the school. They politely suggested I consider media boundaries for my children, especially since Lily had begun signing her artwork as the Burrito Queen of TikTok. Max had been offered a consulting gig by a startup that wanted him to youthify their branding. He turned it down only because their snack offerings were, and I quote, "embarrassing." And Grandpa became a minor internet celebrity among women over 60. His YouTube channel, Zaddy Wisdom with Studmuffin_1951, gained traction fast. His most popular videos included How to Woo It Bingo, Tangoing with a Trick Knee, and What These Shorts Say About Your Soul. It was chaos, controlled chaos, branded chaos. I sat alone in the kitchen one night, surrounded by empty juice boxes, a half-eaten Lunchable, and a stack of legal release forms Max was just keeping on hand. I was exhausted, There was an unopened email from a national morning show. I didn't even click it. All I wanted was to go back to being boring. But that was never going to happen. Because my kids weren't built for boring. They were built for spectacle. And so I changed tactics. Instead of shutting it all down, I took over the management. I became their PR department, legal consultant, logistics planner, and chief snack distributor. I organized their filming schedule. I filtered their emails. I built a content calendar and made sure Grandpa didn't record anything after 2 glasses of boxed wine. I even put Lily's face on merch. Yes, I sold out. But hear me out. When you've already hit rock bottom and a guy in Idaho is offering to pay $20 for a toddler-sized shirt that says, "Spicy and proud," with a cartoon burrito on it, you lean in. I enforced rules. No brand deals with anything containing caffeine, glitter, or animals that can bite. Max pushed back, but I held my ground. "You're 10, I said. "You're not endorsing protein powder." He shrugged. Missed opportunity. Our house became a mini production studio. The living room was half tripods and ring lights. Lily had a costume closet. Grandpa bought a second green screen. I even got business cards. Daniel Morgan, Chaos Manager. And strangely, it started to work. The chaos didn't disappear. It just got organized. Lily launched her own series, Tiny Reviews by the Burrito Queen, where she tried random foods and rated them using a scale of yum, nope, and burp incoming. She was offered a brand deal by a yogurt company, which she declined after declaring their strawberry flavor too suspicious. Max doubled down on his production skills. He learned editing software, built a basic website, and pitched me a 12-part miniseries called Operation Grandpa, The Zaddy Origins. I greenlit it, obviously. Even Grandpa started giving relationship advice to strangers via live streams. He ended each episode with a wink and the tagline, "Stay smooth, sweethearts." We were a family empire, and I hated that I sort of loved it. But it wasn't just internet fame. Something deeper changed too. We were closer. Somehow, all the mayhem, the foam costumes, the viral dances, the squirrel influencer, had forced us to work as a team. We'd built this thing together, ridiculous as it was. And beneath the memes and catchphrases, there was real affection, real pride. One night, after a successful merch drop, Max came up to me holding a small box. "I made you something." Inside was a homemade trophy. It said, "World's Best Backup Plan." I laughed. "You mean world's best dad?" "No," he said. "You were never the first plan. But you stepped up. You made this all work when it could have totally crashed. So, backup plan. That's the good kind." It hit harder than I expected. Lily hugged my leg. "You're my burrito buddy forever." Even Grandpa nodded solemnly. "You keep us from burning down the internet. That counts for something." I was stunned into silence. Then Max whispered, "Also, Acorn Boy has a sponsorship deal with a nut butter company and they want your face on the label. Because apparently you look like a guy who trusts squirrels." And just like that, we were back to weird. The next morning, we filmed the pilot for Lily's new cooking show. She made a peanut butter taco and called it Fusion Food Fiesta. Grandpa wore a sombrero. Max set off a smoke machine. I stood off-screen with a clipboard and 2 Band-Aids in my pocket, just in case. Because this is what my life is now. Ridiculous, loud, slightly monetized, and honestly, better than boring. I thought that was the end. I really did. We'd found balance. A strange, spicy, internet-fueled balance. Max had a system. Lily had a fan base. Grandpa had a fan club. I even got used to seeing my face on a jar of Acorn Boy's Crunchy Deluxe. Tagline, "Trust the dad. Trust the nut." But then came the email. From the platform. No subject line. Just a blue verified badge, an NDA, and an invitation. "We've been watching. We want you all for the family feed, our new live-streamed reality series. One house. No script. Pure content. 7-figure offer. Interested?" I stared at it like it was a lit firework someone handed me without instructions. I forwarded it to Max. His response, "OMG. Yes. Do we get a hot tub?" Grandpa's response, "Can Linda with a Y come too?" Lily? She just screamed into a juice pouch and said, "Do they have unicorn tiles?" I didn't reply to the email. I left it sitting there, glowing on my screen like a portal to something we couldn't come back from. That night, I stood outside in the yard, barefoot in the grass, holding the last clean mug we owned. Acorn Boy, the actual squirrel, was sitting on the fence, eating a mini marshmallow Max had clearly placed there as tribute. I looked at him. He looked at me. And in that moment, I swear to you, he nodded. Like even he was saying, dude, don't do it. The fame, the merch, the madness. It was all fun until someone sold their soul for a content contract. So the next morning, I gathered the family. No reality show, I said. No 24/7 cameras. No living in a bubble where drama gets likes. They stared at me. But, I added, we can start filming Tiny Burrito Kitchen. Season 2, Max can pitch his grandpa versus the algorithm series, and Lily can guest star in a crossover with a hamster. Maybe. They cheered. And just like that, our little empire stayed ours. Not owned. Not scripted. Still spicy. Still weird. Still us. That squirrel, by the way, he's unionized now. Agent. Named Squeaky Pete. And yes, he's got a show coming to Netflix Kids next fall. I help with the paperwork. Because that's what backup plans do. We hold the line. And sometimes we even get royalties. It started with a letter. Like an actual paper envelope. No branding. No return address. Just a wax seal with an acorn stamped into it. Max found it first. He ran into the house like it was a Hogwarts acceptance letter. Dad, this is either a secret society or a lawsuit. I opened it slowly, half expecting it to burst into glitter or scream, "You've been served," but instead it read, "Dear Morgan family, we've been watching you. We represent a private, invitation-only group of families who specialize in viral mastery, brand chaos, and emotional relatability. We call ourselves the Algorithm Underground. Every year, we select one rising family for mentorship, collaboration, and possibly world domination. You're in. If you accept, meet us at 3:33 p.m. this Saturday. Parking lot behind Costco. Wear matching outfits. Bring snacks. P.S. Squeaky Pete vouched for you." We all just stared at each other. Lily whispered, "Is this Narnia for influencers?" Grandpa asked if he should wear a cape. Max was already designing merch that said, "Algorithm Underground Chaos is the brand." Saturday came. We wore our matching Team Burrito hoodies. Max carried a duffel bag full of granola bars. Lily brought her tiara and a live goldfish in a travel mug. For luck. Grandpa wore a cape anyway. We arrived at Costco at exactly 3:32. The lot was half empty. I was 95% sure this was a prank. Or a cult. Or both. Then a nondescript van pulled up. The door slid open slowly. And out stepped a family. Matching tracksuits. Ring lights strapped to their belts. A baby in sunglasses holding a GoPro. They didn't speak. They just nodded. Then another family appeared. And another. It was like a parade of TikTok royalty and YouTube legends, all acting like this was a normal Costco thing. There was even a toddler doing ASMR unboxing of canned beans in real time. We were handed badges. Max's said Prodigy. Lily's said Icon. Grandpa's? Vibe Overlord. Mine? Handler. That was my official title now. Not dad. Not manager. Handler. A woman in a shimmering pantsuit stepped forward and said, "Welcome. The Algorithm Underground awaits." And just like that, the parking lot opened into a hidden elevator, yes, under a Costco cart return area, and we descended into what I can only describe as the Batcave of content creation. Neon walls, editing bays, soft serve machines, a studio where toddlers were filming high-speed dance tutorials in zero gravity. Lily gasped, "This is where the cool comes from." Max just whispered, "I could live here forever." I grabbed his shoulder. "No, we visit. We do not move in." The pantsuit woman smiled. "We offer mentorship, exposure, and limitless collaboration. You choose your path. No contracts, no pressure, just potential." It was tempting. Oh, it was so tempting. But I looked at my kids, and my dad, at our chaos, our mess, our burrito-based legacy, and I said, "Thanks, but we work better above ground." They respected that. We got free snacks anyway. As we rode the elevator back up, Lily curled into my lap and mumbled, "Are we still famous?" I kissed the top of her head. "We're not famous, kiddo. We're unforgettable." Max added, "And we still haven't peaked." Grandpa raised his ring light like a toast. And as we stepped back into the daylight, just a weird little family in matching hoodies, I realized something. We weren't just living in the chaos anymore. We were the chaos. And the internet was never going to recover.